Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai, good morning everybody. Good morning Zoom people, our Zoom gang. Akiko-chan, Hare Krishna, Ajaya, Hare Krishna, Arjuna Prabhu. We're bowing down to you virtually. Amish Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Anna is here, Hare Krishna. Ananda is here. Angelika, let me make her a co-host. Very quick. Okay. Bhima Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Bhima, and his apparel and his horses. Danakyogi Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Chamana Jai is here, Krishna Das, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pink Yogi of Harlem. You have to put your camera on. I want to see you. Preeti, Hare Krishna, Radhika, Rameshwar Naik, Suzanne, Hare Krishna, Benicia, good morning. Good morning, Yogeshwari. Good morning, Adibosha Prabhu. Good morning, Evan, the anchorman, Hare Krishna. Good morning, Moses. Tell us your name, please. Jazz, good morning, Jazz, Hare Krishna. Tell us your name. Nicole, Hare Krishna, Nicole. Angel, the back vocalist of the morning bhajan band, Hare Krishna. Good morning, Z, in the back, Hare Krishna. Suzanne, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Champaka. Tell us your name, Prabhu. Nitai. Nitai, we'll like your pants, Nitai. You're very cool. Hare Krishna, welcome. And I forget your name. Vrindavani, Hare Krishna, Vrindavani. Good morning, Srila Prabhupada. Good morning, Shri Shivana Mulidhar Gaurachandra. Good morning, Gaur Shrivan and his team. Welcome to the morning class. Before I begin, I'd like to seek your blessing. So what we have to share in this class this morning is in line with Guru Sadhu and Shastra and is pleasing and beneficial to everybody, myself included. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Jnanatinarandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master is opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances unto him again and again and again. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, which translates as, does anybody know how that translates?
How wonderful is Krishna.
How wonderful is Krishna, yes. That's the book we read. Canto 10, chapter 8. Verse.
The microphone is blocking his face on the screen.
No, it's okay.
It's okay? Okay.
So in this chapter is entitled Lord Krishna shows the universal form within his mouth. Text 1. I'll just go to translation. And then we'll read word for word, verse 4, which is a purport. Shukadev Goswami said, O Maharaj Parikshit, the priest of the Yadu dynasty, named the Gargamuni, who was highly elevated in austerity and penance, was then inspired by Vasudeva to go see Nanda Maharaj at his home. So Shukadev Goswami is the narrator of the book. Maharaj Parikshit is the king who is inquiring from Shukadev Goswami. The king is cursed to die with pain 7 days. Hare Krishna, Jai Jagannath, Hare Krishna. All right. So, Shukadev Goswami tells Maharaj Parikshit that the Yadu dynasty priest, Gargamuni, who was highly elevated in austerity and penance, was inspired by Vasudeva, who is Krishna's father, who's in jail, to go see Nanda Maharaj, who is Krishna's adopted father, at his home in Vrindavan. So Krishna's father is sending a priest, highly elevated priest, to see Nanda Maharaj, his adopted father, and his cousin brother in Vrindavan. Text 2, I'm sorry. When Nanda Maharaj saw Gargamuni present at his home, Nanda was so pleased that he stood up to receive him with folded hands. Although seeing Gargamuni with his eyes, Nanda Maharaj could appreciate that Gargamuni was a doshaja. That is, he was not an ordinary person seen by material senses. A doshaja means someone who cannot be perceived, grasped by our material senses. That's a doshaja. That's one of the names that Krishna has. So Krishna is a doshaja, inconceivable, incomprehensible when it comes to our material senses. But we can perceive Krishna through devotional service and Srimad Bhagavatam class easily. And in the same way, Nanda Maharaj was seeing Gargamuni as a doshaja. He understood that even though I see this person with my eyes, even though he's present in my home, he's inconceivable, incomprehensible with my material, with material senses. We don't take devotees of Krishna. We don't size them up. We don't measure them. We don't judge them materialistically. We keep the spiritual vision when it comes to devotees, especially elevated devotees. Text 3. When Gargamuni had been properly received as a guest and was very comfortably seated, Nanda Maharaj submitted with gentle and submissive words. Dear sir, because you are a devotee, you are full in everything. Yet my duty is to serve you. Kindly order me. What can I do for you? This is very instructive. Devotees come in our life not because they are in need, they're deficient and insufficient, but because they want to benefit us. It's for our benefit that we serve it. It's not because they need something. In the same way, we serve Krishna not because he's deficient, but because it's good for us. And because Krishna is very eager to receive our service. He's very eager to taste the bhakti that is dormant within each and every one of us. Text 4. Mahadvicha lanam nrinam grihinam dina chetasam ni shri shyasya bhagavan kalpate nanyata kachit. Translation. O my Lord, O great devotee, persons like you move from one place to another, not for their own interests, but for the sake of poor-hearted grihastas, householders. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. As factually stated by Nanda Maharaj, Gargamuni, being a devotee, had no needs because all of his needs are taken care of. By whom? By Krishna. Yes. Jai. Similarly, when Krishna comes, he has no needs, for he is Purna, Atmaram. What's the literal meaning of Purna? Complete. Atmaram, self-satisfied. So that's Krishna. He's complete and he's self-satisfied. Nonetheless, he descends to this material world to protect the devotees and vanquish miscreants. Paritranaya Sagunam Vinashya Chedushkrita. That's the famous verse from Bhagavad Gita. This is the mission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And devotees also have the same mission. So we're here to please the devotees, the fellow devotees, and we're also here to chastise the demons. So how many demons have you chastised today?
3 rounds.
Three. If there's a shortage of demons, then we can always look inwardly and see what's there. There's, in my case, there's plenty
My
of
real enemy.
our real enemy. Yeah.
My own mind.
Yeah, it's right here. Plenty of subject matter for better than the demons. Okay. Yeah, I conquered one demon this morning. I was tempted to go on my phone and entertain my mind with some irrelevant stuff, but I voluntarily chose to put on Srila Prabhupada's bhajans. It was this Krishna Kirtan, this one, very sweet. It has a little string instrument in the back, very nice, it's my favorite. So one demon is conquered. Of course, demons they have seeds, and then will sprout again tomorrow morning when I enter the bathroom again. But Krishna consciousness is every day, it's a daily process. Srila Prabhupada gave us this morning program, so we can practice it every day. How wonderful is Krishna? Okay. So the devotees have the same mission. One who executes this mission of para upakara, performing welfare activities for people in general, so for benefit in everybody, that's para upakara, the ultimate benefit, is recognized by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as being very, very dear to him. That's another verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Na cha tasman manusheshu kaschine kriya kritamam. No one is more dear to me than one who shares my glories with others. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the golden monk, Krishna's incarnation in Kali Yuga. So the golden monk has advised this para upakara, the ultimate benefit. And he has especially advised the inhabitants of India. All right. Bharata Bhumite Haila Manushya Janma Yara Janma Sartaka Kavikara Para Upakara. Translation: one who has taken birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatavarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. How does that translate? How does that play out for us? Anyone here took birth in India? No, not even Judge Adinath. But for us, so we should just stop our mission. That does not apply to us. We should make our life successful and work for the benefit of others. Of course it does. In our own little way, we should strive for that. Krishna consciousness is not exclusive. It's inclusive. And this para upakara is for everyone's benefit. And someone who is sharing Krishna consciousness is also benefiting. It's not that he's got everything figured out. We should do our best and communicate this message as best as we can. And by doing so, we will be benefited. It's like everybody knows that if you want to master a particular subject matter, you get prepared and start teaching it. And then this way you learn even better. So let's not get discouraged by this apparently exclusive statements in the Bhagavatam. Let's see how that translates for us. On the whole, the duty of a pure Vaishnava devotee is to act for the welfare of others. So there we go. On the whole, Srila Prabhupada says. Everywhere at all times, the duty of a pure Vaishnava devotee is to act for the welfare of others. And our little tiny welfare will fall into place if we put Krishna first. Okay. Nanda Maharaj could understand that Gargamuni had come for this purpose, Parvapakara, the ultimate benefit for all, and that his own duty now was to act according to Gargamuni's advice. Thus he said, "Please tell me what is my duty." Should be the attitude, this should be the attitude of everyone, especially the household. What is my duty? That's the attitude. The Varnashrama society is organized into 8 divisions: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Nanda Maharaj. So let's just quickly go over this. Varnashrama society is not something artificial, something that has to be artificially constructed. It's something that is already there naturally. Brahmana is someone who is very austere, who doesn't get paid for what they're doing. Brahmanas are maintained by Krishna personally, and they go out in the society freely and share Krishna consciousness and spiritual subject matter freely without any personal motive, without any discrimination. They are free to share Krishna consciousness as it is because they don't get paid for what they're doing. They're free to speak the truth as it is. They don't seek anything in return. So these are Brahmanas. Naturally, in society, there will be a cluster of people who are inclined to follow this simple lifestyle. Simple life, I think. And then, of course, Srila Prabhupada says that this society, Krishna consciousness movement, is meant for producing Brahmanas. We're supplying Brahmanas to the society. So we're all striving to become Brahmanas in our own way. Kshatriya, that's the royal class. Royal class, they give protection to the society. They make sure that the people who do not want to follow the law are kept in check. So these are Kshatriyas. They are eager to sacrifice their lives for Dharma. And Kshatriyas, they are accountable before Brahmanas. Vaishyas are people who generate revenue and give employment to others, engage others in devotional service, helping them maintain themselves, pay their bills. So those are Vaishyas. Shudras are assisting everybody else. They're doing the job on the ground. Workers. And then we have this 4 phases, 4 stages for the spiritual life. So we've got 4 social orders: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That's how the society is naturally organized. Any society at any given time always breaks up into this. It's represented in a very twisted and very, what's the word I'm looking for? In a very, there's only distorted way. And there's, if we can say, there's only rumors of Varnashrama. There's no Varnashrama left. But still, there will be people who are naturally inclined for a Brahminical life, simple life. There are people who feel that they should give protection to others and make sure that Dharmic principles are upheld. The Vaishyas, people who have taste for generating money and supporting the economy of our Krishna consciousness movement. And then Shudras, the people who like working with their hands, assisting others. I find that a very attractive service to do something with your hands. It's like therapy. When you fix something, it's very good. We don't shy away from that. When I first joined this movement, I saw the temple president of the temple that I was joining. He was cleaning the bathrooms. And I was, from the world where I was coming from, that was considered something very low, very menial. But in Krishna consciousness, the criterion is different. The criteria is our consciousness. If we know that Krishna is witnessing, We know who we're trying to please. We're pleasing our spiritual master by cooperating with the devotees, by doing the needful, by not saying no to devotional service. Jajaranatha Prabhu says like that. We do the needful. That's what we join the movement for. Something needs to be done, we roll up our sleeves and go for it. We know that Krishna knows what's going on. Krishna has the ledger of our devotional service. And even though something may appear insignificant and not exactly, you're not always on the stage, but Krishna knows what's going on. So, and then we have these 4 stages of spiritual life. Brahmacharya, that's a student phase, and you live very simply, no entanglements, and you focus on studying the books, becoming an expert in playing mridanga, in cooking. And you don't have to necessarily think of generating income. So that's the student life, simple life, education, gathering knowledge, becoming an expert at texts that can be offered to Krishna. Then comes Grihastha phase. Not always, not for everyone, but generally, for the most part, that's what follows the Brahmacharya phase. Grihastha, Griha means house, household. Ashta, what's Ashta? Grihastha.
Stha means one who stays.
Ta means one who stays.
Stha, the place of stay.
The place of stay, the realm, right? Krishnadeva Prabhu says that Ta means one who stays. And what's Grihamedi? Grihamedi, same root word, but what's Medi? Krishnadeva.
One who is too much attached to the house. So that is what is.
Grihamedi, Medi means too much. So Grihastha means someone who's maintaining the household for Krishna. And Grihamedi means someone, Krishna says too much, someone who's too much attached to the comforts that sometimes, there's 1% of comforts that Grihastha ashram offers. The 99% is something else. Okay, so that's Grihastha, family life. Family life. And just wanted to quickly, sometimes we think that Grihastha ashram is a place where we enjoy our senses in a regulated way. It's true. It's true. There is enjoyment. There's some enjoyment that's there. No question about that. But we often omit the fact that Grihastha ashram is a big responsibility. It takes a lot of maturity, a lot of humility to live with a person for the rest of your life. It's like a magnifying glass. Whatever impurities we may have in our heart, our partner will not hesitate to highlight that and magnify that. So it's a very purifying service to maintain family, to set a good example. And also there's this romantic thing involved in that. Because if not for that, I would have married Guru Sharan. That's always there. He's a very good devotee, but you know, we have this thing.
You'll have to get in line.
Definitely, I have to get in line. Right, so that's Grihastha ashram. Then comes Vanaprastha ashram, when we live as brothers and sisters. That's what comes after Grihastha. That's empty nester phase. When your children are gone, if there were any, and then we free ourselves up and make ourselves available to do more services. We increase our service. We take Vanaprastha ashram not to take a break from 20, 30, 40 years of intense work, relationship, children, and all that. We free ourselves up and take up more responsibility in Krishna service. There's a common question. What do we do when things are good in life? How do we not get too elated? Bhagavad Gita advises us that don't get too elated when things are good. But what do we do? What do we do when things are good? What would be your answers, dear audience? What do we do when things are good? temporarily.
Increased service.
Increase service, yes. That's the best thing to do. Take up more responsibility. Then this way you won't get too elated. There's more service there. Adibhushka, we have to come up here. Kashmani?
Turn this here. Yeah, we could we could say that the Vanaprastha stage is opening up ourselves to more service, but and also this is in a sense it's changing to a different service because the Grihastha ashram is a big service. Where would we be without Prabhupada's mother? Right? It says the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Right? So we don't want to minimize that service. If it's done as a service, it's done properly, and it's done for Krishna. It's very intense, isn't it?
It is intense.
Is it?
It is.
It's a service, right? But you may focus on a broader family as you move into the other stage. You're still taking care of the family, but you're welcoming.
Yeah.
Expanded.
Beautiful. Yeah, Grihastha ashram and family, it's not a biological thing. It can be broader and, like you can adopt a cow, you can adopt a devotee. So consider everyone as your family in Krishna consciousness. We're all Srila Prabhupada's great-grandchildren.
Okay, according to
We don't even finish the purport. So sannyas is when you dedicate yourself fully to the mission of spreading Lord Chaitanya's movement. Nanda Maharaj represented himself as grihina, a householder. A brahmachari actually has no needs. Many brahmacharis with no needs here. Garsha, do you have any needs? How about me? Okay. But grihi, householders, are engaged in sense gratification. That's me. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 244, Bhogishvarya prashaktanam taya parta chetasam. Everyone has come to this material world for sense gratification. Everyone. If you're here, then you should know that this is what we asked for, sense gratification. And the position of those who are too attached, grihamedi, to sense gratification, and who therefore accept the Grihastha ashram is very precarious. So we accept Grihastha ashram as a service to Krishna. It's not a vehicle by which we can increase our sense enjoyment. It's a vehicle by which we minimize and organize our sense enjoyment, and it's an opportunity to do service for Krishna in that way. So since everyone in this material world is searching for sense gratification, everybody is also searching for Krishna. They just don't know it. They think that the sense gratification will gratify them. So since everyone in this material world is searching for sense gratification, grihasthas are required to be trained as great mahatmas. So brahmacharya is a student phase, and grihastha is also a student phase, and every phase is a student. We're students, we're servants. There's no shortage of things to learn in Krishna consciousness. That's a beautiful thing about it, about this process of bhakti. Therefore, Nanda Maharaj specifically used the word mahad vichaluna. Garga Muni had no interest to serve by going to Nanda Maharaj. But Nanda Maharaj, as a grihastha, was always perfectly ready to receive instructions from a Mahatma to gain the real benefit of life. Thus, he was ready to execute Garga Muni's order. So when a saintly person enters into our little life, what should we do? We should receive them submissively, welcome them, and we should inquire from them submissively, and we should be ready and eager to do what they say. Hare Krishna. End of class, 7:49. I open it up for pertinent questions and reflections. Voice cracks. No? Okay, let me see if there's We have 22 entries in the chat box. Wow. Wow. Okay, no problem, Venetia says. Captions. All right. All right, it's too much going on, I'm sorry. When we meet a true spiritual master, Angelica says, we should inquire from them submissively and truly follow their instructions. Yes, there has to be a spiritual master in our life, by the way. Let's stop at that. Questions? Moses, come up here and ask a question. Or a reflection, share something that maybe stuck with you.
Yeah, I guess I have a question. So when we look at other faiths, like Muslim faith or Christian faith, there doesn't seem to be a parampara. But I've come to experience that that they're saved or they're liberated, or whether that's through Muhammad or whether that's through Jesus. But there wasn't a two-way acceptance from them. Whereas, like, in the Christian theology, where if you accept him, he accepts you. So I wonder if that's similar to our movement, where if we accept Prabhupada, or rather we take on his instructions, right? Will he accept us, whether he's present physically or not? That's my question. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, beautiful question. Bhakti Pushpa Palam Yom Bhakti Prachati. How does that? Those are 2 lines. Bhakti Pushpa Palam Yom Bhakti Prachati Tadaham Bhakti Paritam. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a fruit, a flower, a water, or devotional service, or yourself, I will accept it, Krishna says. Krishna says, I will accept it. Srila Prabhupada will accept it. And this is the whole idea of having a spiritual master in our life, having devotees that we serve with. Because if we have this idea that I can step over the heads of the devotees, I don't need a spiritual master, I will deal with Krishna directly. Because he's in my heart, whatever I do is good. He sees it's there. That's also a certain level of realization. But that's what spiritual master is for. We offer it to him, and then he passes it on to Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada passes it on through the whole parampara all the way up to Krishna. So this is the process. It's a transcendental mailbox. You put your letter in the mailbox. You don't throw it in the sky. You don't try to stuck it in an airplane. You put it in the mailbox that is here on the same height as you. Like we have our devotees here, and our spiritual master will be pleased if we cooperate with them nicely, with our authorities, with our fellow devotees, if we help others. So then this way, spiritual master is pleased. If spiritual master is pleased, Srila Prabhupada is pleased, like that. And of course, we can also, Krishna is always available directly. Through sincere prayer, through our japa. Japa is a good way to deal with Krishna directly. By the way, Krishna took, the holy name is the form that Krishna makes himself available for us in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, this iron age, Kali Yuga. So Krishna is available directly, Krishna is available to the spiritual master, but Krishna is not available for someone who's arrogant, who is not kind to the devotees, who wants to bypass them. Krishna will not bother such a person. He will let them learn their lesson. I wanted to quickly share how important our dealings with devotees are. One devotee shared with me how they attended a wedding, a devotee wedding, and the prasadam that was served there wasn't cooked properly. It was undercooked or overcooked, and overspiced, or overly salted, not very opulent apparently. And she said that, this devotee said that they had this mentality of judging. Oh, how come this organizers? We flew here, we paid our airfare, And now we're tired from, it's hot, and this prasadam they're serving is not up to the standard. So she had developed this critical mentality, criticizing the devotees, the organizers. And then they were playing a ball game, and this devotee who developed this critical mentality got injured, and it took them a year and a half to recover. It's still recovering from that. So let's be very, very careful and abstain from judging devotees, judging prasadam from a material standpoint. Let's not go there. Let's try to see how Krishna is present in every single devotee. Let's see that spark of devotion, of bhakti in everyone we're dealing with, and try to focus on that. And of course, we want to stay practical. We don't want to be on the level that we're not, artificially imitating pure devotee who does not see faults. But let's try to focus on the fact that this person is in my life by Krishna's inconceivable arrangement. This prasadam that is overly spicy in my life, so that I can pass my test of not judging, of appreciating, of extracting bhakti even out of places that aren't necessarily pure. That's the quality of a devotee. We don't judge, we see Krishna everywhere. Srila Prabhupada says, question, okay. Evan, come up here, please.
Go ahead, finish.
It's okay. I'm repeating myself.
No, Srila Prabhupada, you were saying.
Srila Prabhupada says that bhakti subject matters, devotional subject matters are, even though they may be imperfectly composed, the wedding may be imperfectly arranged, prasadam may be imperfectly cooked from a material standpoint, but still, those who are intelligent, those who have spiritual intelligence, they converse, they enjoy those subject matters. So in the same way, we will see something that is imperfectly put together, but if it's about Krishna, if it's done in an act of love for Krishna, Arjuna Prabhu, Hare Krishna, we should stay smart, devotionally intelligent, and enjoy Krishna consciousness even under imperfect circumstances. Evan, G.
Ananda Bihari Prabhu, there's a question from Radhika in the chat that's really good. If you could get to it, please.
Yeah, Radhika always asks intelligent questions. The second last sentence starts with Garga Muni had no interest to serve by going to Nanda Maharaj. What does that mean? Had no interest to serve.
No self-interest.
No self-interest. Yes, he had no interest for himself. He was not in need of Nanda Maharaj's milk or whatever, or cows that Nanda Maharaj may offer. And had no interest to serve does not mean that he had no interest to do devotional service. It means there's this expression to serve someone's interest. So he didn't have any interest to be served like that. He had no self-interest. I hope this is okay. Krishnadas says, as actually stated by Nanda Maharaj, Garga Muni being a devotee had no needs. On the whole, the duty of a pure Vaishnava devotee is to act for the welfare of others. Yes, Garga Muni came to Nanda Maharaj not to be served or fed, or maybe his cow died and he needed a new cow, and he said, "Oh, let me visit Nanda Maharaj." He's very charitable. Not because of that. He comes because he wants to benefit. And truthfully, one time, one devotee, Ghanshyam Prabhu, shared with me that he was with a sannyasi, and they were invited to a wedding. And the sannyasi told him that I'm going to this wedding not because I want to have fun, I'm a brahmachari. Wedding is not necessarily my type of thing, but I'm going there because it's my service to Srila Prabhupada. All right. Evan G. 8 o'clock. All right. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai. Thank you very much. Thank you, online people. We love you. Hare Krishna.
What were you going to say?
It's not food form.
What?
Not food form.
Oh,
What's not fruit?
I just asked him what do you have to say.
Not fructified yet.
Okay, we want to move the Vyasa's line back.